Hello, Aries. What if I told you that in just a few days, an invisible storm of energy will erupt in your life? A storm not meant to break you down, but to lift you up, to open a door to prosperity like you've never known before. Would you believe it? Because what you're about to hear today is not some vague prediction. It's a journey back to your original strength, a place where wealth is no longer a distant dream, but a living current flowing through your life. And it all begins right here, right now, as that storm of energy slowly rises, preparing to change your entire reality. Take a deep breath, Aries, and listen. There are moments in life when you can almost feel a strange wind moving through you, slipping quietly into every corner of your soul. At first, it's so gentle you can barely notice. But day after day, it grows stronger, deeper, until it becomes a wave, a hidden storm rising inside. That's exactly where you are right now. A storm of energy not to destroy, but to renew. It doesn't come to sweep everything away. It comes to reorder, to show you it's time for a new chapter to open in your life. In Buddhist wisdom, every great disruption carries the mark of awakening. When the earth trembles, new sprouts push through. When the waves rise, the ocean is cleansed. And when your life shakes you to the core, it isn't the end, it's a sign you're about to step into a brighter realm. You may have thought the times you hit rock bottom were failures. But Aries, look again with the eyes of your soul. Those moments you thought were hopeless were really the universe clearing a path for something greater, just as a seed must crack in the dark soil before it can reach the light. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt a mysterious shift inside? Maybe it was an unexpected setback, a door that slammed shut, a rejection that stung. But out of what felt like ruin, a new path appeared, one you never imagined. That's how the universe whispers. The old road is no longer yours. Be ready, a new horizon is waiting. I believe within every hidden wave there's a message. Not just for you, Aries, but for all of us, the ones who have stumbled, who have been hurt, who have felt lost in the chaos of life. The message is this: nothing comes to make us smaller. Everything comes to help us grow, to awaken the power that's been sleeping in the heart. In those sleepless nights when you ask yourself why, remember the answer isn't always in what you can see. It's in the vibration you feel inside when something in you whispers, "Get ready, change is coming." That's your intuition. That's the fire guiding you. That's your soul signaling that a turning point is near. The truth is, storms don't come just to break you. They come to clear what no longer belongs, to reveal who really walks beside you, what truly matters, and who you are in your purest essence. If you feel your heart stirring right now as you listen, let yourself admit this: you are not lost. You are being prepared. You are being tested so you can stand worthy of a greater light. You were born with a pioneering flame, Aries. That fire never goes out, not even in the darkest night. It waits for the moment to blaze, to light not only your way, but the path for others too. And this storm, this immense surge of energy, is the very fuel that will set that fire ablaze. Close your eyes and imagine you're standing in a wide open field. The wind swirls around you, the ground trembles beneath you, and in the midst of it all, you are no longer a small figure struggling to endure. You are the center of change. You are the keeper of the key. You are the flame that leads the way. Everything happening isn't meant to extinguish you. It's meant to hand you the power you've carried since the day you were born. That thought might move you to tears. Let them fall. Because every tear washes away the old fear, softens the soil within you, and prepares it for a new beginning to bloom. So let me ask you, Aries, when was the last time you felt that mysterious stirring of a turning point in your life? Share it in the comments. Because when you speak your story, you don't just speak for yourself, you open the door of healing for someone else who needs to hear it. Every honest story carries power. And sometimes the words you write down become the very light another soul has been searching for. This storm, Aries, is only the beginning. Beyond it, a new door is waiting to open. And to walk through it, you must grasp a deeper truth, a secret almost no one sees. Abundance has never been earned by effort alone. It opens only when you align with your true frequency. Some believe that wealth only comes from endless work, from pushing yourself to the edge, from long sleepless nights and days that never seem to end. But the truth is different. Wealth isn't a prize for those who do the most. It's the reward for those who know how to raise their frequency. Think about your breath. You can't force it to move faster than it should, and you can't hold it in forever. If you try, it becomes suffocating. But when you let go, when you allow your breath to flow in and out naturally, you feel life filling your whole body. Wealth is the same. It doesn't respond to the pounding knock of pressure. It only flows to the place where rhythm is in harmony, where your frequency aligns with the heartbeat of the universe. For years, you've worked yourself to the bone. You've run, you've pushed, you've sacrificed nights and poured out everything you had. And still, there were times you felt empty, tired, stuck in a race with no finish line. You asked yourself, haven't I done enough? But the truth may surprise you. The issue was never that you weren't enough. The issue was that you never truly believed you were worthy. In Buddhist teaching, there's a saying, the mind is like a mirror. When dust covers it, the light can't shine through. But when the mirror is wiped clean, the light was always there. Wealth works the same way. It has never left you. It's only been hidden beneath the dust of limiting beliefs, the dust of words spoken to you when you were young, the dust of comparison with others. But the light of abundance has always been inside your heart. When you pause, when you turn inward, you realize it isn't more effort that opens the door. It's shifting your vibration. It's learning to see yourself with new eyes. That's the real key. Remember a moment when you sat still, doing nothing, yet felt an unshakable peace. In that stillness, everything seemed clearer. The flow became effortless. That's frequency. That's when you stop forcing, stop pulling, and simply let life move toward you with more than enough. Prosperity doesn't come because you prove you're better than anyone else. It comes the moment you stand up and say to yourself, I am worthy. Because in that instant, the energy around you shifts. The way you see life changes. The way you speak, the way you walk, the way you smile all carry the vibration of certainty. And the universe mirrors it back to you. Maybe you've lived most of your life in the posture of asking for opportunities, asking for love, asking for approval. But now it's time to stop asking and start choosing. Choosing to stand in the light, choosing to open your heart, choosing to believe that you are already enough. Whisper this to yourself, I am worthy of abundance. Write it down, not for anyone else, but for you. Let each word imprint itself on your mind, let it slowly reshape your vibration. Repeat it enough times and your heart will stop arguing, it will start believing. Because the truth is, wealth never asks how much you've done. It only listens for where you vibrate. When you vibrate in lack, it waits outside the door. When you vibrate in fullness, it walks right in. If you're hearing this, take one quiet minute, place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and ask yourself, where am I vibrating from? From fear or from love? From lack or from trust? Be honest. Only honesty opens the way forward. I believe this. When each of us begins to raise our frequency, it's not just our lives that change, a society changes too. A community of people who believe in their worth, who trust in abundance, will create a new flow, a new culture, one where giving and receiving happen naturally, free from the fear of loss. And then you'll see wealth is no longer a destination. It becomes a natural state, like breathing, like a heartbeat. You don't chase it anymore. It comes because you've become the one who carries its frequency. When the door of your heart finally opens, you'll realize something simple yet powerful. Abundance has never been far. It's been here all along, waiting for you to step into rhythm with it. And once you touch it, you begin to see the true meaning in the simplest rituals, the small acts that somehow carry the weight of the universe inside them. Because from that moment on, you'll understand you don't need to search far. You don't need to complicate the path. A little water, a pinch of salt, and one honest word from your heart is enough to open an entirely new door. Water has always carried a quiet kind of miracle. From the very beginning, it has been the mirror of the universe, the flow that nourishes life, the whisper of rebirth. With just a single bowl of still water, you can see the whole sky, your own reflection, and even the deepest corners of your soul. Salt, those tiny crystals, hold the energy of the earth, of the sea, of waves that have washed over humanity for thousands of years. Salt carries the power of cleansing, of returning to what is pure and original. And words, the breath that comes from the heart, from the soul, are the thread that ties heaven and earth, the unseen and the seen. Place these three together, water, salt, and words, and you find a ritual so simple, it's almost impossible to believe it carries such power. No candles needed, no drums, no heavy clouds of incense. Just a clear glass of water, a pinch of white salt, and one declaration spoken honestly from the core of your being. And yet, in that simplicity lies the energy of the entire universe. In Buddhist wisdom, the highest truths often hide in the smallest expressions. A flower blooming at dawn can hold the whole teaching. A gentle smile can soften a heavy atmosphere, and a simple ritual with water and salt can become the door that leads you out of the dark and into the light. Imagine yourself sitting in stillness. Before you, a glass of water as clear as the truth you've been seeking. You drop a pinch of salt, watching as it dissolves, as each tiny grain blends into the stream, just like old memories, old fears, old shadows dissolving inside you. Then you whisper softly, no need to shout, no need to prove anything, just once, with honesty, I am worthy. In that moment, the outer world may not shift right away, but inside you, a door opens. A door you've been searching for in others, in achievements, in recognition, not knowing it has been in your own heart all along. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You don't need to fight for approval. All it takes is one moment of truth with yourself. I am worthy. And right then the energy shifts. Right then the flow begins. People often think the greatest miracles come from complex acts, but the most lasting magic is almost always born of simplicity. Water cleanses, salt purifies, words activate. Together, they form a symphony of the universe, reminding you that abundance is never handed from the outside, it's awakened from within. If you've ever gone through a small ritual, sitting still for a moment, lighting a single stick of incense, whispering a quiet prayer, and afterward felt your heart grow lighter, your tears fall, and knew something inside had changed, then you already know this power. It's not superstition. It's the ancient language of the soul, the way energy is reborn. So I invite you, after hearing these words, to write in the comments, have you ever experienced a simple ritual that changed your heart? Share it. Not just for yourself, but for those listening with you, so they too can find faith, can find light. Because every story you write down could become medicine for another soul that is weary. And when we gather these small pieces together, this community becomes a circle of healing where each person's simplicity adds to a greater strength. And the wonder is this: from water, from salt, from words, you begin to discover a truth far deeper. A truth that has never left you, but only reveals itself when you finally live it. A truth about the original nature of abundance, about the bond between your soul and the flow of prosperity, about the light that has always been within you, waiting for you to turn back and see it face to face. Money has never truly left you. It has never been a stranger at your door, never something knocking softly, refusing to step inside. From the moment you were born, prosperity was already woven into the fabric of your soul. It's there, hidden in every breath, in every bold choice, in the flame you carry inside your heart. And yet, for years, you've been convinced you had to search for it, to fight for it, to prove yourself, to race as if wealth were some prize hanging in the distance, reserved only for the lucky few. But that was never the truth. There's an ancient reminder in spiritual teaching: we don't go looking for light, we are the light. And the same is true for abundance. It isn't waiting at the end of the road, it's present in every step you take. Think back to the moments you were most alive. When you threw yourself into a new project, not knowing the outcome, but your heart burned with faith. When you stood up for what was right, even knowing you'd face opposition. When you gave someone courage with nothing more than your words or even just your gaze. In those moments, you weren't simply living. You were leading. You were opening the way. And if you look closely, you'll see the energy of abundance was always flowing right behind you. The truth is, wealth isn't something you chase down. It's a mirror reflecting your freedom, your inner strength. When you stand firm in that essence, money finds you. It's like a river, always flowing toward the open space where it can expand. And your heart, wide, brave, and radiant, is that space. Maybe you were once taught that dreaming big was dangerous, that wanting more was greedy, that believing you were worthy of wealth was selfish. But listen again to the small voice inside, the one you've pushed aside so many times. It whispers, I was born for more than this. That's not illusion. That's the truth about you. You were not born to live small, not born to sit in the back row silent while others decide your fate. You were born to blaze, to lead, to set a fire that awakens others too. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has already prepared the resources for you. It did not send you here empty-handed. It sent you with fire, with will, and with a current of prosperity that has always been yours. So if, as you listen, something in your chest is saying, "Yes, I was born for more than this," then write a fire symbol, fire, in the comments. It's more than just an emoji. It's an affirmation, a mark of your soul telling the universe, "I'm ready." Trust this. You don't need to search in faraway places to become abundant. You only need to return inward to where wealth has been waiting all along. Like light that never disappears from a dark room, it only waits for you to open the window and let it in. And when you open that door, you'll realize something vital. Keeping this light alive requires more than belief alone. It needs rhythm. It needs a sacred code, a vibration to anchor it, to protect it, to guide you deeper into the flow. And from this very moment, an ancient memory begins to stir, a sacred number handed to you like a key. A divine code you were meant to remember, not by chance, but by a design that has been waiting for you all along. Some numbers may look like nothing more than empty symbols, but in the depth of the universe, they carry hidden vibrations. Each number is a tone, a frequency, a door. And when spoken the right way, these numbers become keys unlocking the energy that has long slept within our souls. The sequence 71, 269 is one of them. It didn't just appear by chance. It isn't some random string thrown together. It's an ancient code, a language of vibration that the universe placed into existence for those awake enough to find it. They call it the sacred code of the angel of prosperity, a bridge connecting you to unseen resources, to the endless circulation of abundance. Picture yourself in a quiet room. You write down this number 71, 269. Your hand trembles slightly, not from fear, but from the sense that you're touching something sacred. The moment you type or write each digit, you're not just putting numbers on a page, you're carving a new path inside yourself. And when you add the words, "I activate the sacred code 71, 269, you're not only speaking to yourself, you're sending out a signal. The universe doesn't just hear, it begins to arrange. I've seen people move to tears the first time they read this sequence. Not because they fully understood its meaning, but because deep in their hearts they could feel the shift. Like a door cracking open, letting light spill into a place long kept in shadow. That's the power of vibration. It doesn't need explanation, it doesn't need proof. When that number is spoken, it touches a level the mind can't reach. In Buddhist wisdom, everything in life carries frequency. The morning bell of a temple can quiet the soul. A single chant can make the whole space vibrate. And a sequence of numbers spoken with sincerity can awaken the potential asleep within you. 71. 269 is one of those sequences. It isn't meant to be read once and forgotten, but to be engraved, to become part of your own energy field. When you truly declare, "I activate the sacred code 71, 269, you become a magnet. You stop chasing abundance and let abundance chase you. Because in that very moment, your frequency changes. You are no longer standing in the vibration of fear and lack. You're standing in the vibration of trust and receiving. And when your frequency shifts, your entire life shifts. Soon, you may begin to notice this code appearing in unexpected places. On a receipt you pick up, on a license plate passing by, in a dream, in a message you read by chance. Don't call it coincidence. Call it response. The universe reminding you the door is open, the flow has begun, and you've already stepped inside. If you're listening right now, I invite you to try something simple. Write in the comments, "I activate the sacred code 71, 269. Not for me, not for anyone else, but for you." Because as your fingers move, part of your energy begins to awaken. And you'll feel the vibration ripple out as you become part of the ritual yourself. Believe this, every digit you write, every word you type, is a thread connecting you to the source of light. And when enough threads are woven together, you'll see before you a brand new tapestry, a path of prosperity unlike anything you've known. And then, when the sacred code is truly activated, when the sequence has imprinted itself deep into your field of energy, you'll realize that what's happening is more than just an inner shift. It's real movement in the world around you, unexpected opportunities, money you thought was gone suddenly returning, doors you believed were sealed shut quietly opening. And all of that, believe it or not, is just the beginning. Because once a sacred code is awakened, the current it unleashes always goes far beyond human imagination. When a river begins to flow, it never keeps its waters for itself. It moves outward, feeding the fields, nourishing life, and finally pouring into the sea. Money, when it truly becomes a flow in your life, moves in the same way. It isn't meant to be locked away in dark rooms or sealed tight in a heavy safe. It comes to move, to nourish, to expand. You will receive so much that there will come a time you simply can't keep it for yourself. Not because you're forced to give, not to prove anything to anyone. You give because you are so full, so overflowing, that sharing becomes as natural as breathing, as unstoppable as the sunlight itself. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a deep truth: wealth only has meaning when it circulates. If you hold onto it, it becomes a burden. But when you let it go, it turns into blessing, into seed, into a harvest waiting to come. Giving has never made anyone poorer. On the contrary, it opens the door to multiplication, not only of money, but of love, of trust, of connection with others. Think back to the last time you gave something away. Maybe it was money, a gift, or simply your time and your listening. Did you feel lighter? Did your heart grow warmer, overflowing with joy? That feeling is the clearest proof of this truth. Giving doesn't take away from you, it expands you. It makes you richer in a way no number can measure. So when prosperity comes rushing into your life like a sudden downpour, you'll find your hands opening on their own. You'll share not out of fear of losing, but because you know the more you share, the more you're fed by an even greater flow. You'll no longer give from sacrifice, but from delight. No longer think of what is being taken, but know you've become a channel, a bridge for abundance to reach many other lives. And then you'll understand true wealth isn't how much sits in your account. It's how much light you can bring into the world. People may forget the number of dollars you had, but they'll never forget the moment you reached out your hand when they needed it. They'll never forget the feeling of being lifted, of being shared with. And that memory will outlive you. It will become the part of you time can never erase. You will give not because someone told you to, but because in your heart there is no other choice. The fullness becomes too great to hold in. It must flow. It must be shared. And let me ask you, in your life, what moment of giving made you the happiest? Share it in the comments, because your story might touch someone else who is waiting for a spark. A reminder that true abundance always begins with the act of opening your hand. Do you see now? When money becomes a flow, it is no longer just material. It becomes energy. It becomes love. It becomes the bond between souls. And you with your fire are the channel that carries that current outward with no limits, no borders. And here, in this very moment, we draw close to the final touch where every journey comes together in a single meaning, where the light of gratitude and a blessing spoken from the heart is offered to you as a sacred mark upon the new path ahead. And when the heart has been softened by giving, when you feel yourself no longer holding back but letting the flow expand outward, that is the moment we touch something quieter, something deeper. A moment where every story, every lesson, every door that is opened, all come together into one simple but powerful truth. You are worthy of abundance. You are worthy of light. And you are worthy of the journey the universe has already prepared for you. Here, it's no longer theory, no longer distant concepts. It's only your heartbeat, your honest listening, and a quiet faith rising within you. Faith that the road ahead will shine brighter. Faith that abundance doesn't come once and disappear, but stays, becoming the natural rhythm of your life. Thank you, Aries, for listening with your whole heart. Your presence is the light of this journey. Wherever you are sitting alone in a small room or listening in the middle of a noisy world, this moment is still yours. A sacred moment where you can see you are not small, not alone, but always part of a greater flow. May you step into this new chapter with freedom, prosperity, and peace in your soul. And may this fullness walk with you always, so that with every passing day you see more clearly this one truth. Abundance has never been far. It has always lived within your heart.